on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome back to another iteration of the DN Roundtable. I think this is 14. This is number 14.
14. Retired number now.
That means we've been doing it for 14. Absolutely, we did it, guys. On my right, you already know these guys. You know them. Look at them. You see their faces. Obviously, there's no Doug here. He's looking for a car or something like that. He's good. He's with us in spirit as always. But we got Mr. Eric Eulo over here on my right. Clip to see us over there on the other right.
Writer.
Double cheer. More writer. You guys know them. I don't have to tell you who they are. We're real deep into this by now. We know what's going on, so let's just jump right into it. Obviously, recording this now, the day after the All-Star game, we got to go. We had a good experience. Yeah. We had a good time. Good times had by all. There were beers, there were foods, there were synergy and corporate bonding, as always. Yeah. But starting with the All-Star game experience, overall, what is your assessment of the All-Star game? We're going to go on a 1 to 10. You can talk about it. You can talk about the overall experience, how you felt being there in person at Dodger Stadium, seeing Clayton Kershaw take the mound for the National League. Just talk about it just in general. Clint, go ahead. What did you think?
I mean, I think there's a lot of fun in going to the game. It's the first in our lifetime, first in my lifetime. That's for damn sure. We get to tell that. We get to tell that to our grandpuppies, our great grandpuppies and all that. Hey, I got to see MLB Hall of Famer Clayton Kershaw start an All-Star game in his home ballpark, and that was pretty cool. It was enjoyable, you know? I mean, my throat's a little hoarse right now because I was screaming at players and whatnot. Overall, kind of a dull game, but we made it a good time when you're with good friends and Eric.
Good times. Yeah. Family matters.
That's fun. If you wanted a number, I think I said, though, like, I give it a 5 because I could take it or leave it. I think the All-Star game is built for the TV experience.
That was my question for you, Eric. Do you feel like the All-Star game is more suited for the TV experience? And a follow-up to that, do you think if we had traveled from out of town, maybe we were coming from some podunk city in the middle of the country, do you think that we would, maybe have appreciated it more, maybe had more fun?
It's definitely a made-for-TV event. I think you just see by just the sheer amount of equipment they have there. They have the cat-eye cameras stringing across the field. It's definitely a made-for-TV event, but I thought it was incredible. I mean, it's pretty much the Coachella for baseball fans, right? It's a festival. You have all these people, a lot less drugs. You have all these people. It's just an incredible celebration of baseball. But, yeah, I mean, we didn't have the opportunity to see the David Ortiz, Mookie Betts interview. We definitely probably missed out on a few moments, but luckily we have the internet, so we can all look at it. But, yeah, definitely a made-for-TV event, but I was really happy we got to go. Very thankful we got to go. I would absolutely go to another All-Star game again, even if it was at a different city. And I completely don't remember your second question. I apologize.
That's fine. It's all good.
I want to interject quickly. Thanks to our friends at AM 570, LA Sports Radio. Thank you to our big boss man, Gary Lee. And thank you guys who read our stuff, who watch our videos, because we could not have gone without supports of viewers like you.
Like you. So hit that subscribe button down below and be another viewer. Take us to the Seattle All-Star game because I want to go to that real bad.
You know what? I'll plug in here. Do you think it would be more fun if you were an out-of-towner then? Like we're looking at T-Mobile next year, Seattle. I mean, we go to Dodger Stadium enough. We've been to playoff games. We know that's it felt about the same level of excitement.
Yeah, I think it maybe was something along those lines because if you look at like the overall experience, like coming to LA, getting to come into LA, doing the Hollywood thing, doing all the typical LA things that people do, it was probably a lot of fun for those people. It was a whole experience. It wasn't just one game. It wasn't just a few hours on a Tuesday night in LA. It was probably an entire week or weekend of doing things and getting to see things that you don't normally get to see and do things you don't normally get to do. So I think there is definitely something to that. If we do go to Seattle, we'll have to come back to this. We'll have to readdress it and reevaluate what we're doing because, it might have been a different experience. But with that, All-Star game's over. We can finally move on. We can stop talking about who's going to start the All-Star game for 2 weeks. We officially kick off the second half of the season. The Dodgers are 60-30 as of this recording, 10 games up on the Padres. Who saw that coming? But second half, that means it's time for second half predictions. My favorite part of the year because it actually has some backing this time around as opposed to when the season started. So, Eric, I just want to get it from you. The smartest guy in the room. Who is your candidate to be a legit bounce-back candidate this year? Who's the guy who's going to, maybe didn't have the best first half and is going to just come tearing right back in?
You got to go with Max Muncy. I would hope that now the forearm is feeling a little bit better, got a few days off, got that Sunday off. I think some of the peripheral numbers would speak he's been a little bit unlucky, but I want to think that guy just with his new approach, with where he's been, with what he's done for this team. I think that the walk rate is still there. He's still seeing pitches well, but I think you're going to start to see some more favorable outcomes for Muncy. And I just don't think the guy is a 150 Cody Bellinger 2021 hitter. Like that guy, I would almost put money on his average being north of 200 in the second half, or finishing for the season a little north of 200 or right around there. I think Max Muncy is a legit bounce back candidate for the second half.
That would be a great guy to have bounce back because he is
bad.
He is not good right now, and it's definitely a hole in the lineup. Clint, alternatively, who is the guy that you're worried about? Who's the guy that is 2019 second half Cody Bellinger?
I respect your opinion, but you are dead wrong. Actually, I thought you were going to give me the same thing. And
You
know what?
can answer both. You
My
can answer
answer
both.
is going to be the same for both. Either way, Craig Kimbrell. He needs to be the bounce back guy, but he very well could just keep spiraling out of control. And, this would be the arm flushing his season down the toilet.
It's like when you bet against yourself during the home run derby.
Yeah.
You got a real weird way of doing
But,
stuff.
I mean, also, Kimbrell being a bounce back candidate would be pretty damn important for this team.
It would be huge.
I just don't think it's going to be that. Plus, you got Blake Trinan, knock on desk, hopefully coming back. You got Dustin May, whatever they're going to end up doing with him. You got some other options coming back. Hopefully, a Tommy Canley. I don't know if if Craig Crumble can last in that bullpen if he keeps doing what he's doing.
I just like how we have the Crumble nickname for him. I mean, if you got a Crumble nickname as a closer, it's not looking good for you guys. I personally, it could go either way for me. There's a lot of different ways that can go. But the one guy that I'm worried about, the regression that I see coming, the regression I worry about, is Tony Gonsolin. I mean, you look at what he's done in the first half. He's been phenomenal, and that's not to say he cannot continue to do that. But the fact that every game he pitches is now his career high in innings pitched doesn't quite sit well with me. I think the Dodgers are probably going to do some things to make sure that he gets a little bit of a load off, some pressure maybe taken off of him a little bit. Yep. I think as we head towards playoff, you'll see him less and less in a longer starting role, I guess. And like we said, we've been saying, I think he's going to be piggybacked with Dustin May whenever he does return. Bounce back candidate? I don't know, man. I don't see Max Muncy bouncing back until that elbow is completely healthy, and I just don't think we're there yet, and I don't think we're going to be there till 2023, which is also coincidentally what he had said. It's not going to be healthy 100% until next year probably, but
you can go ahead and cheat and go Dustin May.
No, I'm gonna go Cody Bellinger. I'm gonna go Cody. You know what? He's gonna have the reverse 2019 year. It's gonna be bad first half, good
Not you,
second
producer
half.
Cody.
I don't know how good it's gonna be. Good by his standards right now is not that good overall, but I'll take whatever you can get for him. I think before the season I had said if he hit 220, we'd be in a really good spot.
Yes, you did.
It's still possible. I don't know if it's actually happening. But guys, with the second half of the season also comes the trade deadline, which we are all so excited about because that's what you guys like to watch. So that's when you like to watch Doug talk about players, talk about rumors, talk about things, talk about people that could possibly come to the Dodgers, and it's a good time had by all. But predictions right now, because the current market that's developing is pretty wild. Things that are happening right now within Major League Baseball, specifically with superstar, all-star outfielders for some reason. I don't know what the deal is there. The trade deadline could be very interesting this year. I personally don't think Juan Soto will be traded at this deadline. However, let's just get this one out of the way. What does a trade package for Juan Soto look like?
Lots and lots and lots of talent. The Nationals have already gotten the top two Dodgers prospects from last year. So if I'm looking at Dodgers specifically, you're starting with a Dustin May, you're throwing in a Landon Knack, you're throwing in a Bobby Miller. They are going to want the top tier of the farm system. And you could even see somebody with team control like Gavin Lux. I mean, Jeff Passan had that similar trade package. Jacob Cartaya, bye-bye, because they could flip him elsewhere or flip Keibert Ruiz somewhere else for talent. It would be a very smart if they can find a move like that. It would be smart of the Nats to trade him, get all of that talent, and then find a way to fix some holes. But will they trade him?
Eric, do you think he even gets traded this deadline?
No. I don't understand why everyone just decided that Juan Soto has to be traded right now. I mean, he's under team control for a couple more years. Rosenthal knows his stuff. I just don't understand why it has to be done right now. You look at the ownership situation. If I'm going to buy the Nationals, I want it to be my call what we're trading Juan Soto for if I'm a billionaire. Like, billionaires don't want to have the food made for them. That's not how those people operate. Not that I know a single billionaire, but if I was looking to prospectively buy the Nationals, I want to make the call on what we're getting back for Juan Soto, not have the ownership team that I'm about to buy the team from make that call.
If I had to make a prediction, if I had to make any prediction right now, just as we stand here on this date, July 20th, if Juan Soto were to be traded this offseason, or this season trade deadline, whatever, what have you, I think he's a Yankee. I think he goes to New York. I think they have the package to get it done. I think that they have the prospect capital to get it done. I think that they are at a weird impasse with Aaron Judge that seems to be very uncomfortable. You saw that interview with, I think it was Marley that was doing that interview, right? Where he was just like, hey, there's a kid in New York that says he's your favorite player and he can't believe you're not going to be a Yankee possibly. And he's like, oh man, there's a lot of other good Yankees. I hope you're still a fan of me. And it's like, oh yeah, I don't think that guy's going to stick around very long. But it's interesting to me that the Yankees don't seem to want to pay him for some reason. However, Juan Soto would thrive in New York for a lot of different reasons. Personality, short porch in right field, and just Yankees fans. I don't know. Seems like a good place for him to be. That would be my prediction on where he ends up. I also do not think that the Dodgers really make a splash at all. I don't know if you guys have any other opinions on that. It seems to be kind of the universal thought across every major media outlet. Like, hey, the Dodgers will probably just kind of stand still or maybe add a bullpen arm, fringy type of guy. But what else can you do?
You really can't. You like we've said for weeks, and I mean, you know what? Andrew Friedman gave us his lip service of we're not going to go out and get anybody. We're not going to really do anything. We're not going to trade from our prospect capital because we've done that a lot over the last few seasons. And I think they have the parts already internal to make a splash internally with phrasing. Because, you know. Anyways, you got Dustin May. We said the names already. You got a lot of guys coming back that any team would love to add to their roster, and they're already there. You just got to wait. And you got a 10-game lead, you're good.
At this point, it's a waiting game. At this point, the 10-game lead definitely plays into that. I don't think Andrew Friedman feels like he needs to show his cards to anybody. I don't feel like he needs to be like, hey, we're interested. He just doesn't. He'll keep tabs on everybody that's available because that's what he does because he's a good GM, and I love him dearly. But, guys, finally, before we wrap up, we want to talk about the new beer vending machines at Dodger Stadium. These popped up all over Twitter. A bunch of people were posting them. I have mixed feelings and emotions about them. I will say I was very happy when the Dodgers brought back the beer guys who walk around and give you beers. I was real excited about that because sometimes you're just sitting in your seat and you're like, I actually am almost empty. Hey, right here.
Be a boy.
Most of the time they come around with like Bud Light, so I'm not really super down with that. But do you have any strong opinions one way or another about this? Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Is it going to cause a lot of fights, Eric? What do you see playing out with this?
I see a lot of beer not getting rotated properly in vending machines, and that hurts my soul. I don't think they probably don't have a reader there to make sure the dates are all right. And as a beer schnob, as a big beer douchebag, I just think I worry about that. And also I want that human interaction. I like someone handing me a beer. Also, I had a question: is the thing getting delivered like with the little water arm where it gets nicely dropped, or is it like donk and then you have a fuzzy like a foamy beer?
My feedback seems to be that it sounds like it's gently placed in. I don't know about people opening them, but it sounds like it's not like a boom, boom.
Gently placed, like a ball getting gently thrown back.
Which doesn't happen in reality. I wonder, there's a few things I wonder about. And on that, they force you to open the beers. You have to have an open can when you're leaving.
So you can't hit people with them.
Yeah, because, I'm going to attack you with a like $17 beer or whatever, as grandma would say. I wonder, is it going to crack your beer for you? Because I don't want a machine touching my beer. But also, I wonder, how are they going to regulate this thing? Because somebody just goes up there and there's like, I'm assuming that it has an ID, reader.
Scan. It does.
So is that storing your information? Am I going to be old man yelling at the cloud right now, wondering how much are they storing? How many beers am I drinking? And can I get that tally at the end of the game? So I had this many.
There's also a huge business opportunity now. There's a lot of fake IDs sold in Alvarado Street. Not that we support that kind of stuff, but trying to get something that can trick the vending machine. Or is it like a Vaughn situation where you have an attendant kind of overlooking the robots?
Mom, can I borrow your ID?
Can I borrow your ID?
Yeah.
Listen, it's a weird situation. I think they do have somebody kind of regulating the can cracking as you walk out. That's what the roped off section was for. Yeah. I'm assuming that, but the general feedback that I've had from, you guessed it, Facebook, is how are they keeping your information in their systems? Mm-hmm. You get your ID scanned at the grocery store sometimes. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I think it's I don't know. The Dodgers have been doing a lot of things to try to cut down on lines in recent years. Some of them
and employees
nailed on. Yes. Some of them they've nailed on. Some of them they have swung and missed on and caused even more lines.
I mean, it's already a cashless environment, so that's one thing. But cutting out that human touch is nice. I mean, we did the tap and go yesterday. Didn't necessarily go that much quicker, in my opinion, because you're still dealing with humans. So if anything gets me drunk in my seat quicker, I'm all for it. But yeah, if we got a lot of people getting slammed to the floor by security because they can't handle, I don't know.
Where does it stop, though? Are there going to be robots touching my hot dog, my Dodger dog, before I inhale it?
like
in
in
30
the
seconds?
bathroom
That's a
thing?
personal thing.
Well, that's like an Eastern Europe robot.
It's one of my favorite movies from the 70s.
I will say there was a lady at the Touch and Go or whatever it's called that was trying to use her Apple Watch for like 3 minutes and just couldn't get it to go. And then she finally took her card out of her back pocket. And I was like, I feel like we could have just done that from the beginning, lady. You didn't need to show off your Steve Jobs technology. But I digress. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on another iteration of the Dodgers Nation Roundtable. Appreciate you guys for being here. As always, we'll be thinking about Doug because he's our guy. We love him so much.
He's perfectly healthy. He's fine.
He's in Visalia.
He's not fine then. He's not doing well. But guys, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. If you want to see more of this, and you should see more of this because we're great and we do this all the time. And we want to go to Seattle next year. Hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit the little notification bell so you can get it.
There's
You'll
a
know.
bell, there's a like, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about these topics today. Are the Dodgers going to make a splash? Are they going to is Cody going to do better in the second half of the season? And what are your thoughts on beer vending machines at Dodger Stadium?
As always, think blue, bleed blue.
We out.
We're out.